This week, NAS100 market basically just stayed in a consolidation, but then today it finally broke out of that consolidation. So in this video, we're going to talk about my game plan for the upcoming week, including my entries, my exits, and my profit target zone. So that way you can have a game plan for yourself for this upcoming week. Now, keep in mind that on Monday, that is Memorial Day. So the US markets will basically be closed. And depending on where you're at and what broker you use, the NAS market may still be open, but there might be low volume. So just watch out for that for this upcoming week. And now when it comes to NAS100, let's look at the price action on the weekly time frame. And as we can see, let's zoom in here because it's a little crowded. Let's zoom in here, but basically we can see that the week started off quite strong, a little bit coming all the way up here, but then it closed bearish. So basically that means that for this upcoming week, price could continue in that down movement, especially since it failed to come up here. So basically what that means is that this area right here is serving as a lower high point. So it'll be interesting to see what price does next week. So just cleaning up some of our analysis, I'm not going to erase all of this because I believe that the levels that we drew for last week played out very nicely this past week, even though it was a consolidation. So let's just clean it up. So here on the weekly time frame, I do like this level right here at 22,229. And then there's also another level at 21,894, and then another level at 21,729, and then this level right here is sitting at 21,428, and then we have another level within here that is sitting at 21,280. This level here is at 21,124, and then this level right here is sitting at 21,021, and this level here is at 20,751. So finally, we're here at this yellow level, and this is sitting at 20,652. And then because I do suspect that price could potentially come down further, I am going to call out these levels. So this level is 20,323. And then this level here is at 19,653. And then finally, we have this yellow level that is sitting here at 19,095. Okay, so far, I do think that these levels are great for the most part, but there is one level that I see now that I do want to change, and it's this level right here. So I'm actually just going to move this up just a little bit. Now it's sitting at 21,446, and then of course we'll go on lower time frames and see if we need to adjust anything else. So let's go ahead and go to the daily time frame, and I did have a couple little zones marked off from last week, so I'm just going to be cleaning those up. But for the most part, what if you can trade gold or any market in just 1 hour per day, even if you have a full-time job, and still grow the account? Most traders think that they have to sit in front of charts all day, and maybe if they step away, they may either miss a setup or they may come back to a losing trade. Well, in this free masterclass, I'm going to show you a calm and repeatable way for you to enter trades with confidence, and you can lose all the anxiety when you step away from your charts. Go ahead and check out the free masterclass. It's totally free. This is looking great. So we have this level here. I don't see anything within here that I want to change. Actually, this level that we just moved, you can see that it lines up quite perfectly with all of these rejections. We have essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really strong daily rejections from this level. So it tells us that our level placement is solid. And then we also have a level in here, but we're not going to touch that just yet. And everything else seems to be lining up. And since price was mostly in here, nothing down here should change. So let's go ahead and go to the H4 time frame. Okay, so now we can see with a lot more data the consolidation zone that price created this past week. So looking into this area, since we'll be focused mostly in here now, I do want to see if there's something that I want to clean up. And actually, I do want to take this level that we moved on the last time frame and just move it slightly. Now it's at 21,453. And of course, it is very important to be precise with your levels because these are going to be levels that you're going to be looking at in real time. And you don't have the time to be trying to make sure that your levels are right. You want to have that set before you start trading. So that's why we get to this level of precision, and we may refine more when we go down to lower time frames. But for right now, that is looking good. And looking at this level here, it is looking quite good. However, let me see if it'll it'll look better right here. And actually, I do think so. So this level, I moved it to 21,336. And then I also do see some other levels that I do want to change. So like this level right here, this level is now sitting at 21,229. So it almost took the place of one of the other levels, but I like a little bit more precision, and I may add another zone within here. So just looking at price action, let me see if I find a really good level. Actually, I'm thinking right here. So at 21,130, I do like this level within here. So we have quite a few zones, and it's looking like it's quite crowded, but I want to make sure that it's not. Okay, that's 100 points right there. That's decent. So if you want larger zones, then of course you can just get rid of some of these, but I actually like these because it's giving about 100 or so points inside of this market. I can just add, okay, 100 and 100 almost. Okay, great. So these are really clean zones inside of here. So I like the way that's looking at the moment. And we do see that price tapped into this previous key level in the past. So that's looking quite strong. However, I do want to move this level up now that I have more detail to 20,821. So that is good for this time frame. Let's go down to the H2 time frame. Okay, so we can see quite with a lot more detail here. What I would probably want to change is this top level. Okay, right here at 21,467. I like this level here. It's a little confusing here. I mean, you can keep it mainly because we do have some market structure within here. This is basically a consolidation zone. For right now, I'm going to keep it. I'm gonna see how it looks on H1. And then this level, now that I got more detail, I do want to bring it down a little bit. Now it's sitting at 21,010. Nice number there. And then let's go ahead and look at this level and see how it is lining up. Okay, so I'm going to move this back down essentially to where it was before because it's looking better on this time frame at 20,744. Now I do notice that this level is really close to this key level. It's only 77 points, but it's totally cool. If it fits within your trading plan for right now, I'm going to keep it there. I've created another community here on School called Consistent Profitable Traders. And if you want to join, you can go to school.com/traders in order to join this free membership. I have a number of things here inside of the community. You can see that the community is growing. There are people being added almost every single day. And then inside of the classroom, I do have some things here. I'm constantly adding new things, new resources for new traders. And if you go over to the calendar, then you'll see that I have a monthly call with everybody inside of this group. So if you want to join this community, go ahead and go to school.com/traders, and I'll see you there. Okay, on the H1 time frame, now I got a lot more data. I do actually like the way this is looking, even though I could move it right here, but we're going to keep it right there for now. And then as we look at these levels, I am going to move this up. Actually, how am I going to move it? Okay, I'm going to move it like, I think I like it right here because it's kind of the average of all of this price action. There's a lot of stuff happening in there, and that's at 21,246. This, once again, it's annoying right here, but when you look to the left, it's actually pretty clean. So since it's clean here, it's messy in here, I'm just going to leave it just because I want to be reminded of these levels over here. So I'm just going to keep it. It's really choppy throughout here. And then this is still looking great. Let me see. I do like this level mainly because of that old support, and it did respect it, so I want to keep that. Okay, cool. So this is what it's looking like for me here on the H1 time frame. Now we're going to go into the game plan, but before we do that, if you like what you've seen so far, you want to see more trading videos on this channel, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel so that way you can get more of that content and see more videos like this when they drop. Okay, so now going into the game plan, we can see very clearly that the immediate trend for NAS100 is bearish, mainly because of all of the price action that we saw very clearly on the weekly time frame. Now that we're on the H1 time frame, it's in a lot more detail. So as far as my game plan, what I would be interested in is mostly sells unless price was to do something. I'm going to tell you what that is before I get ahead of myself. So mostly sells, but if on the off chance if price was to come up above 21,010 and possibly go up to this previous high, just going past this resistance just a little bit for 141 points up to 21,153, that would be a cool buying idea for me, mainly because it would have broke structure at that point, and and structure should always be respected when you're making trading decisions. So that is a buying idea. And then of course, if price continues up, this would be another target for me as well, just because in here it's a little choppy, but up here it's quite clean. So that level, as we called out before, is 21,246. So that would be my buying trading idea. But of course, I am focused more on the sells in this immediate term because we have a very clean downtrend right here. So since price stopped here for the week, what I would want to see is for price to come up to this resistance. And then this is where I would make the decision as to whether or not to take a buy or a sell. Because if price was to come up here and show some sort of bullish momentum up here, then of course this trading idea would be the idea for me. But if it came to this level and then started to reject, then I would be looking more for a selling opportunity down to this support right here. And then if price was to come down here, basically I would get out of that position. But obviously we don't know because the market is not open, but basically this is just the game plan that I'm looking for on the sell side. So let me go ahead and mark that off super quick. I'm mostly looking for sells below this level right there. And then if we was to scoot this data in a little bit and just get an insight from the left-hand side, we can see that price respected this level. That's why I wanted to keep it. And if price was to break this level, so if it was to disrespect this level for any reason, then we would continue the selling bias down here, let it break. I'm a fan of break and retest setups. So if you've been trading any period of time, you may have heard that terminology, but this would be the second idea on the sell side. So of course, let me go ahead and mark this off right there. And then let me just go over here and just see what's happening. So basically this whole price action move is super clean. Yeah, that would be a really nice move. And then of course, let me scoot this in a little bit more. I do see, do we have that gap? Yep. So we do have a gap here, and I'm not going to go into the depth of trading gaps and whatnot, but basically the way I see this air right here, so basically this nothingness is just a strong bullish candle because price started here and then it ended here, bullish movement. So not to say that the same thing is going to happen on the other side, but if price was to continue down, I know where my target would be, and it would be underneath this market structure right here. So let me just go ahead and take a horizontal ray and mark that off. Okay, so now we can see, actually I would have two. So I would have at the bottom of that level, and then I would also have at the top of this, actually it could be here, it could be here. Let's just go with this one right here. So that would be an idea. Let me go and draw this out. Continuing those cells down here. And I don't believe I called this out. So let me do this. So this is from this key level, roughly at 20,657, going all the way down to this level of 20,323 for a 329 point fall potentially. And then going from this level all the way down to 20,088 for a 235 point potential. And then of course this little level here. So this is basically where I would stop it. This is almost 100 points inside of the market, going from this level at 20,088 all the way down to 19,987. So I think that would be enough for this week. But of course, the market can do anything. And then keep in mind that it will be a short week. So if you found this content helpful, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe. So that way I can continue making more videos like this in the future, giving you ideas for your own trading plans. I'll see you later.